morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha Television, your one-stop morning show for top stories from India and across the globe. I'm Ashwarya and these are the headlines. Deals in defence, space, trade, energy and tourism expected to be inked after the 19th India-Russia annual summit between Prime Minister Modi and Russian President Putin. S-400 air defence missile systems deal is the focus. Petrol and diesel prices down by 2 rupees 50 paise per litre. Several BJP-ruled states announced additional cuts, giving a total relief of 5 rupees a litre to consumers. Amit Shah says decision reflective of centre's sensitive approach. High-speed winds and heavy rains in several parts of Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Forecast for heavy rains for the next 5 days. Alert in hilly districts. Fishermen advised not to venture into the sea. US President Donald Trump unveils a new counter-terror strategy that provides the strategic guidance against terrorist threats, focuses efforts on pursuing terrorists to their source and isolating from support. Trump administration pushes Pakistan for effective campaign against terrorists. And India in a strong position in the first test against West Indies in Rajkot to resume at 364 for 4 on day 2 today. Under-19 team narrowly beat hosts Bangladesh by 2 runs to enter the final of the Asia Cup. First up, all the news on Russian President Vladimir Putin's visit to India. The 19th annual India-Russia bilateral summit will be held today as Prime Minister Narendra Modi and visiting Russian President Vladimir Putin hold talks. And at the end of the talks, over 220 agreements are expected to be inked across key sectors like defence, space, trade, energy and tourism, among others. The focus, however, is on the multi-billion-dollar S-400 Triumph air defence missile system agreement.
On a 2-day visit to India, Russian President Vladimir Putin will hold bilateral talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. India will sign a $5 billion deal with Russia to get S-400 Triumph air defence systems. India wants to procure the long-range missile systems to tighten its air defence mechanism along the 4,000-kilometre-long Sino-India border. Both leaders will also deliberate on key regional and global issues, including US sanctions on import of Iranian crude oil during the 19th India-Russia annual bilateral summit.
I think all 3 elements will be part of the discussions. I mean, India's relationship with the US, Russia's relationship with the US. From an Indian perspective, Russia's relationship with China, will be very interesting. The Russians may want to give us their ideas on how India-China relations can improve. After all, we are partners in BRICS and recently BRICS and SCO, and recently Prime Minister Modi went to Wuhan. So a lot of things are happening in the world. There is a lot of churn. So they have a lot of things to talk about.
Also on the agenda are talks to deepen cooperation in a number of sectors, including trade, investment, connectivity, energy, space and tourism.
We can discuss with the Russian government, work out an intergovernmental arrangement. We could possibly send thousands of Indian farmers to work on Russian land which is vacant. Nobody is there. And it's very fertile land. And the produce of that could be either jointly exported to other parts of the world, or we could bring a lot of it into our country. It would contribute to our food security. But over and above that, you would be also providing employment and wherewithal for many farmers.
Prime Minister Modi and Putin are meeting for the second time this year after their informal summit at Sochi in May. Putin will also meet President Ramnath Kovind on Friday and address an India-Russia business meet in New Delhi.
In this summit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Russian President Vladimir Putin will also try to ease out their differences over the issue of peace and stability in Afghanistan. Russians have been telling that Pakistan and Taliban are required to come on board for peace and stability in Afghanistan, while India has been asserting that their involvement will create further problems. It will be interesting to see that whether they agree to disagree or they come to any convergence. Akhilesh Suman for Rajya Sabha Television with camera person Manoj in Delhi.
And Prime Minister Modi hosted a private dinner for Russian President Vladimir Putin yesterday. The two leaders held a one-on-one meeting at the Prime Minister's residence after Putin's arrival. The Russian president is accompanied by a high-level delegation comprising a Deputy Prime Minister Yuri Borisov, Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, and Trade and Industry Minister Denis Manturov, among others. And ahead of his meeting, Prime Minister Modi tweeted that he looks forward to the deliberations which will further enhance India-Russia friendship. My colleague Akhilesh Suman is now joining us live from the newsroom. A very good morning, Akhilesh. Yesterday we were speaking a lot about the S-400 defense deal, but there are a number of other deals that are also expected to be signed in key sectors. And in fact, PM Modi also yesterday tweeted that he looks forward to the deliberations which will further enhance India-Russia friendship. What all can we expect today?
Yeah, actually, there are expectations that India and Russia will talk about increasing their trade relationship, because till now it is almost around $10 billion per year, but there are target to take it to $30 billion. And if you want to make it $30 billion, you have to expand the areas of trade and convergence on investment pattern. And that is why there is a understanding between the two countries that we have a fantastic relationship on nuclear power plant. And you know that other than Kudamkulam, we can go to another unit, like 6 units are being talked, and there is action plan that will be discussed and finalized in today's summit. That action plan will introduce another 6 units in India, and those 6 units will be done on bilateral basis, and they also will that they will be like make in India pattern, that some of the equipments for those reactors will be made in India. So it is like expanding the bilateral cooperation in nuclear field. And Bangladesh is one country where India and Russia are cooperating as a test basis, and it is working fantastic. So we have to increase that relationship, and if it increases, we can go to other countries also, and that will expand our trade relationship. So this is one very important area. Other than this, there are talks of helicopters, fighter helicopters we have to buy, and it will be also coming in Make in India pattern. And then there are export items from India, that what we can export more, like other than that, other than exports, we have a fantastic opportunity in Russia for agriculture cooperation, because they have huge barren lands where Chinese are going, but Indians are still not going there. So Russia also wants, and India is also keen, that is the area where India can utilize its labor force and farmers, and they can go and work there, and they can farm there. And that can be exported to other countries, it can be taken back to India, it can be consumed in another area that is very interesting, that Russia is the largest, producer of diamonds. And diamonds is one area in which India is also very competent. Largest, that processing of diamond is done in India, especially in Gujarat, you might be knowing. So India and Russia are keen, and there had been agreement in 2017 for this intent, and I think that this will be finalized in a better way, so that if Russia has to send it through Brussels, why cannot we do it directly? So this is also one of the important areas that is coming for discussion, and in that way, that infrastructure is one major area. India is attracting investment from many other countries. Yes. Russia also might be interested in this. So I think that after the summit meeting, some announcement will be there, and there is an expectation that as much as 20 agreements and MOUs might be signed after the conclusion. So it is a very interesting era in India-Russia relationship, when both are thinking to expand the relationship beyond defense. That defense is the one area where yes. Russia is having very good relation with us, but we want to expand in other areas, so that the relationship goes to other areas also, and people to people contacts can be also expanded, because visa is an issue between the two countries, and
Yes.
that is why tourism does not take place in Russia. So Russia is also interested that tourism should expand from Indian side. Aishwarya.
Absolutely. So big ticket deals really lined up for Prime Minister and Putin meet today. Thank you so much, Akhilesh. You keep tracking the visit of Russian President in India. We'll keep coming back to you. Thank you so much. On to the other big story. In a major relief to consumers, petrol and diesel prices have been slashed. The government announced a 2.50 rupees cut in petrol and diesel prices. Now, this after the government reduced the excise duty by 1.5 rupees a litre and asked the oil companies to slash another 1 rupees. Announcing the decision, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley asked the state governments to match the move with a similar reduction in sales tax or VAT. Now, several states followed suit. Gujarat, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Haryana, Jharkhand, Assam and Tripura announced a cut in VAT of up to 2.5 rupees a litre, to effect a total of 5 rupees per litre reduction in pump rates. The reduction in excise duty will cost the central government 10,500 crore rupees. In Delhi, where the fuel prices are the lowest among all metros and most of the state capitals, petrol is currently sold at 84 rupees per litre and diesel at 75.45 rupees a litre.
इंटरनेशनल ऑयल प्राइसेस की जो इस वक्त स्थिति है वो बिल्कुल अनसर्टन है. ईरान में क्या होगा ये एक अनसर्टनिटी के दौर में है. ओपेक क्या करेगा प्रोडक्शन इंक्रीज के लिए वो अनसर्टनिटी के दौर में है. और इसलिए कंज्यूमर्स को भी पब्लिक डिस्कोर्स में इस बात के लिए जानकार रहना चाहिए कि ये जो इंटरनेशनल प्राइस बढ़ रहा है उसकी वजह से जो देश तेल खरीदते हैं उनको तकलीफ स्वाभाविक रूप से होती है. वी विल ट्राई एंड सी हाउ द करेंसी इंपैक्ट कैन बी कंटेन्ड. द सीरीज ऑफ स्टेप्स विच वी हैव टेकन और विच वी मे take further, so that once on either front there is some relief, that is currency or oil prices, that will be over and above this 5 rupee relief that we are proposing. 2.5 is within the control of the central government and of course the oil marketing companies, which will become applicable immediately, and I'm sure the states will also start delivering immediately.
And BJP President Amit Shah said that the reduction in petrol and diesel prices shows the Narendra Modi-led government's sensitivity towards people's welfare.
मैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी की ओर से इस फैसले का स्वागत करता हूं और प्रधानमंत्री जी को देश की जनता और करोड़ों भारतीय जनता पार्टी के कार्यकर्ताओं की ओर से बधाई देना चाहता हूं कि इन्होंने फैसला लेकर संवेदनशीलता का परिचय दिया है. भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सभी राज्य सरकारों ने भी ये फैसला लिया है कि 2.5 रुपये तक की वैट में कटौती करेंगे.
On to some other news now. At the second Global Reinvest India ISA Partnership Renewable Energy Investors Meet and Expo, at least 21 countries in the Indian Ocean Rim Association adopted the Delhi Declaration on Renewable Energy in the Indian Ocean region. The declaration calls for collaboration among IORA member states in meeting the growing demand for renewable energy in the Indian Ocean area. The declaration also calls for the promotion of technology development and transfer, strengthening of public-private partnerships in renewable energy, and collaboration among IORA member states and the member nations of the International Solar Alliance. As per the declaration, IORA member nations will collaborate with the ISA member nations to exchange knowledge and share views and potential interests in the renewable energy sector. IORA member countries will also collaborate with the International Renewable Energy Agency. And air travellers will soon be able to enter airports in the country with the facial recognition biometric under the government's Digi Yatra initiative. Civil Aviation Minister Suresh Prabhu termed the initiative as forward-looking and futuristic and said it would be launched soon. Now, the Digi Yatra initiative, which will be optional, seems to promote paperless and hassle-free air travel. It is a biometric-based digital processing system for passenger entry and related requirements at the airport. The Digi Yatra central platform will be operational by the end of February 2019, and Bengaluru and Hyderabad airports would implement it around the same time. There are plans to also roll out the feature at airports in Kolkata, Varanasi, Pune and Vijayawada. Now, under Digi Yatra, there would be a centralized registration system for passengers, and each of them would get a unique ID. Before travel, the airline would share the passenger data and the ID with the airport from where the passenger would be flying out.
Digi Yatra is a very forward-looking, futuristic initiative in which many times people keep complaining that there are so many boarding passes has to be stamped. So now we'll eliminate all that process, and the only way people will be identified will be once those who are voluntarily offered to do that on the basis of their facial expressions and everything else, that is a biometric capturing.
To make it in a very lightweight regulation, very flexible and dynamic technology, and a phased implementation airport by airport. That's the technology problem, that is the real life problem that we've solved, which is, as I said, very unique in the world, and there's tremendous amount of interest in the design of this whole platform and the way it's been put together, including all of the privacy requirements that we should have under GDPR and privacy by design frameworks that are required now in the world.
We'll slip into a short break here. We'll be right back with more news. Don't go anywhere.
Ghatam, one of the oldest and most unique percussion instruments of southern India. You can play it not only with your fingers, but palms, wrists and heels as well. You'll be surprised, but the air inside the Ghatam reverberates, creating the musical notes. 5 elements of nature: earth, water, air, fire and space make up the composition of this beautiful musical piece, which has found an apt place in most of the ancient books.
Welcome back. Let's get you some news from the south of the country. High-speed winds and heavy rains are being reported in many parts of Kerala and Tamil Nadu. The Met Department has predicted a heavy to very heavy rain in the 2 states and Puducherry during the next 2 days. Kerala State Disaster Management Authority has issued a red alert in Idukki and Malappuram for Sunday, while yellow for most of the districts today. Meanwhile, several parts of Tamil Nadu and Puducherry witnessed intermittent rains on Thursday. Tamil Nadu has also initiated measures following an IMD forecast that the state may receive extremely heavy rain in some areas on 7th of October. The IMD also forecast heavy rains at isolated places over coastal Karnataka, Andaman and Nicobar Islands and Lakshadweep. It said that the sea would be rough to very rough over south, and fishermen have been advised not to venture into the sea till Monday.
Under the influence of an upper air cyclone circulation, which is lying over Southeast Arabian Sea and adjoining Lakshadweep Maldives area, a low pressure area is expected to form over Southeast Arabian Sea near Lakshadweep during next 24 hours. So it is likely to intensify further into a depression in subsequent 36 hours and then move northwestwards and develop into a cyclonic storm and again move in a northwesterly direction towards Oman coast. Under its influence, Kerala is expected to get heavy to very heavy rainfall for the next 5 days. Fishermen have been advised not to venture into sea.
And a group of about 40 enthusiasts with experience in mountaineering who are embarking on an expedition to raise awareness on cleaning the river Ganga from today called on Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday. The group includes 8 mountaineers who successfully climbed Mount Everest. It is led by Bachendri Pal, the first Indian woman to reach the summit of Mount Everest. The expedition, which has been inspired by the Union government's Namami Gange campaign, has been named Mission Gange. The month-long rafting expedition group will travel through 9 cities. It will raise awareness about keeping the Ganga clean and will also undertake cleanliness activities. Interacting with the group, the Prime Minister appreciated its members for undertaking this initiative. He underlined the importance of a clean and vibrant river Ganga. He particularly urged the group to reach out to school children as part of their awareness activities in the cities that they are transiting through. Chief Ministers of at least 8 mountainous states will meet for 2 days in Shimla from today to discuss various common issues being faced by them. Now, those that are expected to attend the meeting include the Chief Ministers of Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram and Meghalaya, while an official will represent Jammu and Kashmir, which is under the President's rule. Union Minister Kiran Rijiju will attend the meeting as the representative of the central government. Issues related to development of border areas, construction of roads, bridges, hospitals, schools, besides others, are expected to be discussed in the meeting. On to some other news. Over 10,000 delegates from across the country will take part in the 4th edition of the India International Science Festival starting today. President Ramnath Kovind will formally inaugurate the 4-day event in Lucknow. About 800 women scientists and entrepreneurs are expected to take part in the event. Outreach programs for the same were carried out in 77 cities across the country, where 5,000 to 15,000 children and scientists participated. The theme of the event this year is Science for Transformation. The India International Science Festival is conceivably the biggest platform in India that brings together students, researchers, artists and the general public to celebrate our nation's achievements in science and technology.
लगभग 10,000 से ज़्यादा देश भर से और विदेश से हर प्रकार के वैज्ञानिक, यंग वैज्ञानिक भी, एक्सपीरियंस्ड वैज्ञानिक भी और जो वैज्ञानिक होने के साथ साथ टीचर्स भी हैं साइंस के, ऐसे वैज्ञानिक भी ये इसके अंदर भाग लेने के लिए आएंगे। पूरे इस 4 दिन में विज्ञान से जुड़ा हुआ कोई ऐसा विषय नहीं होगा, ऐसी कोई टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं होगी, ऐसा कोई मॉडर्न लेटेस्ट कटिंग एज रिसर्च नहीं होगा जिसके बारे में यहाँ पर चर्चा नहीं होगी, जिसके बारे में जानकारी नहीं होगी।
And the government on Thursday appointed R.N. Ravi, the government interlocutor for talks with the Naga insurgents, as the Deputy National Security Advisor. Ravi is the chairman of the Joint Intelligence Committee. The Appointments Committee of the Cabinet, headed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, approved redesignating Ravi as the Deputy NSA Internal Affairs. Ravi, a 1976 batch IPS officer of the Kerala cadre, was in August this year given an extension as the government's representative for the ongoing talks with Naga insurgent groups, National Socialist Council of Nagaland. Ravi retired as the Special Director in the Intelligence Bureau in 2012. Ravi will be the 3rd deputy to NSA Ajit Doval. Pakistani troops violated ceasefire on Thursday evening and resorted to firing along the line of control in Poonch district of Jammu and Kashmir. According to a defense official, there was a brief firing of 30 to 40 rounds by the Pakistani army along the line of control in Gulpur and Khadi Karmara forward areas in Poonch sector. He said that the troops guarding the borderline retaliated to the fire. The official said that there was no report of any casualty or injury from the Indian side. The biggest international story, US President Donald Trump unveiled a new counter-terrorism strategy which issues a tough warning to terrorist groups and their supporters that the US will defeat its enemies with full force of American might. The strategy for counter-terrorism focuses efforts on pursuing terrorists to their source and isolating terrorists from their support. The strategy represents the US's first fully articulated counter-terrorism strategy since 2011. It provides the strategic guidance needed to protect the US against all terrorist threats while simultaneously fostering the agility to participate, prevent, and respond to new threats. It also involves modernizing and integrating US's counter-terrorism tools, protecting infrastructure, and enhancing preparedness, countering terrorist radicalization and recruitment, and strengthening the counter-terrorism abilities of its international partners. On the sporting action, teenage sensation Prithvi Shaw announced his arrival in top cricket by taking the home team's match to 364 for 4 against West Indies on day 1 of the series opener on Thursday in Rajkot. India got off to a nightmare start, losing KL Rahul for a duck in the very first over of the match. However, Prithvi Shaw stitched a 206-run stand alongside Cheteshwar Pujara before Pujara fell for 86. Later, Shaw was out at the score of 134. Ajinkya Rahane contributed 41 runs. Shaw became the second youngest Indian to score a test century and the fourth youngest test centurion on debut. India will look to maintain their status in the ICC test rankings during the 2-match test series against the West Indies. India lead the table with 115 points. And India entered the Under-19 Asia Cup cricket final, beating Bangladesh by 2 runs in Dhaka on Thursday. Opting to bat in, India were all out for 172 in 49.3 overs. Yashasvi Jaiswal top scored with 69, ball 37. And Bangladesh were then all out for 170 in 46.2 overs. The Indians were able to defend the small total thanks to a disciplined bowling show led by pacer Mohit Jangra and left-arm spinner Siddharth Desai, who shared 6 wickets between them. The duo ripped through the Bangladeshi batting by claiming 5 out of their top 6 batsmen. And that's it from me and my team in this edition of Breakfast News. But news and updates continue on your channel. Thanks for watching.